Not letting deals disrupt your business. You've decided you want to sell your business. You've decided you need capital. You want to run that race that's necessary to get there. But how do you accomplish that while at the same time not allowing the business to get derailed, distracted, or disrupted in any way? I'm Arthur Petropoulos, managing partner here at Hillview Partners. We're a middle market, lower middle market M&A capital advisory firm, helping companies generating $1 million to $10 million in pre-tax earnings, sell their businesses, and secure capital. And so in today's video, I want to discuss 4 main considerations or areas of focus to avoid any level of disruption when in the process or pursuing the process of selling a business or securing capital. The first of these, and no surprise, is hire an advisor. And this isn't asking a bartender if you need a drink or asking a barber if you need a haircut. Whether you hire us or anybody else, we would still advise you need people. If for any other reason, just to have the bandwidth. It's impossible to serve 2 gods, as they say, right? It's impossible to focus entirely on running the business while entirely on facilitating the process. In addition to that, there's 1,000 different nuances to the process. What you should ask for, what's fair, what's not fair, what variables there are to consider. And so the same level of obsession that you have with your business and making sure it's successful, you should expect and demand from whoever it is that you hire to advise you and facilitate this process. And you can expect that if someone's swimming in a swimming pool all day, dealing with the same things all day, tackling every single nuance, staying on top of everything, that they're just going to be a better Sherpa of that particular exercise than you're going to be just by virtue of having that level of experience. And so the first thing we say is don't go this path alone, and it's the same thing we say to all of our clients. The second element is focus on performance and planning. Both of those not being the deal. The executives, the owners of the business, focus on the continued performance of the business, focus on the continued planning of the business. And people say, well, I'm going to be selling it. Why do I need to keep planning it? One should have plans, not only getting to the closing, but plans beyond the closing. What would be the next steps of growth for the company? What would be the next ways of growing sales? What would be the next ways of optimizing expenses? What are some of the strategic initiatives? A, because it's going to help you actually sell the business, or certainly in the case of capital, because it shows kind of what the catalysts are for future growth of the business. And B, it keeps the momentum going, and we'll dig more into that on the last topic. Number 3, building on this concept, is act as if the deal's not going to happen. If you show up in a suit every day wearing a tie to the office, don't all of a sudden start showing up in a Tommy Bahama shirt, smoking a cigar with a bright gold Rolex, right? Don't act in the future until you are in the future. Now, you can certainly start planning for it in private to some degree, but as it pertains to the business in particular, keep everything going the same way. If you drink a coffee at some time in the morning, just do the same exact thing. If you deal with people within the company, if you deal with problems within the company more pragmatically, just keep doing everything the same. All meetings should stay on the same cadence. All problems should be solved in the same thing. No kicking cans, no sweeping things under the rug, no changing your behavior. A, because of the performance of the business, as we alluded to, but B, it's what it communicates to everybody that's involved. And so this all ties together in the last prompt of sprint through the finish line. You might see the line coming up. There may be an inclination that there can be some level of coasting, but really what makes deals successful, it facilitates the process, particularly from the signing of a letter of intent through the formal diligence to the closing, is a sprinting through the finish line. All momentum stays the same. Everything stays the same. And yes, the day that a sale happens, the day that capital happens, wonderful, and it's something to be celebrated upon closure, not a second sooner, but sprint through that finish line. And so all of these you'll see are somewhat interrelated, but so if you're trying not to let the deal or potential financing disrupt the ongoing operations of the business, you'll effectively need to act as if it's not going to happen. But again, to recap these 4 components: 1, have an advisor; 2, focus on performance and planning; 3, act as though the deal is not going to happen; and 4, sprint through the finish line. We avoid it like the plague, and it is something we hammer home in every transaction that we work on, is that things must continue, if not even accelerate, in the process of selling a business to ensure that there's no disruption, no dislocation of the business. We've heard horror stories from others. We thought a deal was going to happen. We took our foot off the gas pedal. Deal didn't happen. Then they revisited a deal, and it was at a lower price because the performance had deteriorated. We do not let that happen. We are ardent about not allowing that to happen, and this is really the core areas of focus to ensure that's the case. Hope the week's getting off to a good start for everyone. Keep pushing forward. God bless. See you next time.